Oh my goodness, Ezra Miller has actually been found and charged. Takata breaks the silence. What the deuce is going on now? Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef, the Alternerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the news and true crime stories of the day. That's pretty much caught me eye, and oh my goodness, finally, Ezra Miller has been found and actually charged, but with what? And Takata has broken her silence and said what about Ezra Miller? Guys, I'm going to break it all down for you. Before I do so, though, a little bit of housekeeping. Firstly, YouTube human reviewer, I see you lurking. I'm not going to say any trigger words or anything that's going to offend your ear holes. And to everyone else awesome enough to have clicked on this video, hi, welcome. How are you doing? If you love news and true crime on the daily, served with a little bit of sass and gobbiness, which is basically this, right? Do make sure you click on that subscribe button, like, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And let's jump into this, shall we? So, it came out yesterday evening, or this morning, last 24 hours, basically, guys. You have inundated me with this news. Ezra Miller has been found and charged with felony burglary in Stamford, Vermont. Out of everything. Yes, the latest in a string of alleged incidents involving the star of The Flash. So the police report was published yesterday. Vermont State Police said that they had responded to a burglary complaint in Stamford back on the 1st of May. And what they're alleging is that several bottles of alcohol were taken from a residence whilst the owners were not present. Now, they looked at the CCTV footage and interviewed all the witnesses, and then Ezra Miller was located and charged shortly before midnight on Sunday. Miller has been issued with a citation for them to appear for an arraignment in Vermont Superior Court on the 26th of September. So guys, mark your calendar, 26th of September. If they show up, woo, I'm going to be keeping an eye on that one. Now, the felony charge, as we know, adds to their mounting issues, legal issues, and reports of extreme, in my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, erratic behaviour. We know that they were arrested twice earlier this year in Hawaii, first for disorderly conduct and harassment at a karaoke bar in March, and then second was a second degree not being physically nice less than a month later. We also know that the parents of 18-year-old Takata and have filed a protection order against Miller. And it just goes on and goes on and goes on. Harassment, not very nice language behaviour. Again, not being very nice physically. There was one incident where it seems to be showing on video in Iceland of that incident. With the throat situation. That woman actually came out very recently thinking that, you know, she thought it was all fun and games and that everything was Gucci. But then it turned out to be a little bit more serious than she thought. So there's that. But Warner Brothers are feeling the heat at the moment because at the end of the day, they cancelled Batgirl, which... Guys, I'm sorry, that's insane. I wanted to see Brendan Fraser as Firefly. Oh my goodness. And Michael Keaton as like my Batman, like the 89 Batman that I grew up with, right? He was going to be in it as well. Like, Warner Brothers, you took that away from me and so many other nerds that were just like absolutely excited for this project. Yet you're leaving the Flash in place. What? Like, priorities, guys, priorities, right? So they're certainly feeling the heat at the moment. However, someone else that's been feeling the heat is Takata, and she's actually now broken her silence and spoken out a heck of a lot more about the situation between her and Ezra Miller. Now, she sent exclusive text messages to Insider, and she's saying that the allegations against Ezra are disgusting and irresponsible smear campaign. And in multiple cases, they have done the right thing and stood in protection of others. They, as in Ezra Miller, they. We know that Ezra Miller has known Takata since she was 12 when they travelled to North Dakota to support the fight against the Dakota Access Pipeline back in 2016. And then their friendship, or whatever it is, kind of went on from there. Takata has publicly absolutely denied the notion that someone saw her and Ezra Miller having boom boom time outside publicly. Again, she's told Insider that this is so very false. And guys, I publicly said when I was going through that allegation that had come out publicly, even I was like, really? Outside publicly? Like, even I had a hard time believing that allegation, to be fair, and didn't really think that could necessarily be true. You know what I mean? So Takata herself is saying, hell no, that didn't happen. Now, later that month in December 2021, when that incident was alleged to have happened, Miller returned to the Vermont farm with Takata in tow. On January 29th, Miller and their house guests called Takata's parents to tell them Takata was not herself after taking something illicit 4 days prior. The parents, Iron Eyes and Jumping Eagle, flew to Vermont the next day. They claimed that Takata was completely out of it, not making much sense. Screaming, she'd lost her voice, she had marks, that kind of thing. She didn't have a phone or ID. Takata basically, in terms of that incident, tried to explain to Insider that she took a microdose of that illicit substance and that the marks on her were a result of her doing it to herself, following a friend who had sadly passed away. She did add that some of the marks may have occurred when her parents, not very nicely, forced her out of Miller's home. However, Jumping Eagle has absolutely denied that she tried to forcefully, physically get Takata out at that point. Olivia Ignatius, who's a longtime music collaborator of Miller's, made certain allegations as well, saying that he had witnessed Miller not being nice verbally towards Takata in both Hawaii and Vermont, and that he had witnessed, looking at this, Miller confiscating Takata's phone for her safety and pressured her to change her name to Gibson. But Takata told the Insider that she goes by both Takata and Gibson, and that she was the one that came up with the name of Gibson herself, not Miller. At the Vermont farm back in May this year, Miller again hid Takata's phone from her apparently, and at one point was just screaming in regards to Takata wearing makeup, according to Ignatius. He was saying things like, you know, you're putting on this clown paint. What the hell are you doing? But again, Takata completely denies that and refutes that claim, saying that she was never screened at, saying that this was a dialogue about badly applied rouge on my part, which I appreciated, calling it queer dialogue. She says, I think the fact that a catty comment made by a queer person about makeup being considered nasty is actually quite phobic rhetoric. Could it have been made in that, guys? In that kind of way instead, and being taken it the wrong way by Ignatius? Yeah, absolutely. But there's a way of doing it where you're doing it, let's say, in a sassy way, like a jokey kind of friendly, sassy way, you know, that kind of thing. And then there's a way where it's really, 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 really aggressive. And when you look at Ignatius's allegations, the vibe that you get from it is Miller was being aggressive, like full on aggressive, controlling, that kind of thing. But again, Takata has broken her silence. She's spoken out and she's refuting all these claims basically right now. We know in terms of at least rumors that Miller's been driving around the US carrying at least one bang bang situation and wearing a vest to protect him, paranoid about being followed by the FBI and the Triple K. But Takata is explaining this, saying that the vest was a fashionable safety measure in response to basically actual threats and actual physical nastiness that has happened towards Miller. But the one thing that kind of, I'm like, what is fashionable safety measure? What? Why would you be describing a proof vest as a fashionable safety measure? To me, it'd be like, you'd be describing it, look, this is a reasonable safety measure. If you're going to actually give it a description, you'd be like, it's a reasonable safety measure, actually, because I've been on the other side of this situation. And, dudes, they've been getting, not very nice words being said at them and physically not being nice against them as well. Like, this is a reasonable safety measure, but to call it fashionable safety measure, what? Am I completely off base there? I don't know. I just think it's a very weird choice of words to call a proof vest a fashionable safety measure. No, it's reasonable safety measure to save your freaking life if the worst was ever going to happen. Like, potentially, like what? Anyway, but Takata's mother said she and her husband have been motivated to sound the alarm about Miller, which particularly with Takata's mother, Sarah Jumping Eagle, I follow her and she's pretty much on the daily, raising awareness about this situation and about Miller. And I absolutely believe this when she says, our primary concern is the safety of our daughter. We want other people to be warned. So, guys, Ezra Miller has been found and he has been charged. Well, sorry. Ezra Miller has been found and they have been found and being charged with felony burglary. Wow. 26th of September, guys. Mark your calendars. Let's see if they actually show up. Takata Iron Eyes has broken her silence and refuted a lot of claims that are out there at the moment. Do you believe her? Do you guys believe her? Me? I'll be very honest. In my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, respectfully, no. I don't know. I just don't believe her. I don't believe her rationale against how she's able to refute the allegations that are out there. I really don't. I don't know. There's just something off with it. In my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever. But enough with my gob. It's now time for your gobs. Comment down below. Do you believe what Takata Iron Eyes has been saying? Are you happy now that Ezra Miller have been found and has been charged? My goodness, do you think they'll actually turn up for court on the 26th of September? Let me know. And if you love this video and love news and true crime on this daily, served with a little bit of sass and gobbiness, which is basically this, right? Do make sure you click that subscribe button, like, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And until the next time, you guys, laters.